Hello, everybody. How's everyone doing? Hope everyone is well. This is Catching Up with Wajeeh, and this is the 10th episode. Finally, we have reached two-digit numbers now. Um, I'm just only looking forward now and hoping to provide the best possible information and content out there. And I was just realizing this, like maybe I'm creating a type of doubt perhaps, but like is maybe a different name for this podcast a better idea or no? Catching Up with Wajeeh, it's a good name I think maybe for a solo podcast, but I'm not so sure about the future. Like what should we name it? Like W or something, WP? I don't know. Let's see, man. Let's see. Yeah, man. It's 4 a.m. October 15th. Finished up work and I was like, I'll just record something. I had some content. I listened to a couple of things. Things are getting back on track, you know. Life moves on. Something I don't know if many people realize this. I think at a certain point everyone does. It's like I wrote it down here. I wrote, I don't know if many people realize this. You're going through life so fast. Sometimes just sit and realize things around you for a moment. Double inhale and continue. Because I think most of us can relate to this, where you wake up, it's go, 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 and then it's night again. Basically, you're going back to sleep and like, that day went pretty fast. And sometimes it's one day, sometimes it's 1 week, sometimes it's a month, and you're like, what the fuck? Time flies, man. Time flies. You just gotta make sure what you're doing is worth it. And if you're doing something that's worth it, most of the time your time flies by, and that's how it feels. Yeah. Um, we have got some funds in now. I'm planning on, fixing everything up here, the look, probably adding in some furniture and doing some touch-ups, interior designing, even though I'm dumb for that. That's not my field, I would say, or my expertise or my plus points, but I'll try my best to put a better look on this. And I'm gonna see, let's see what happens. I'm planning on inviting some of my school teachers. I'm damn sure they have a lot of wisdom they can impart, which sometimes I felt like I missed on. And I think it's normal. Most people, young people, you don't realize some stuff until you reach a certain age, and that's normal. So I'm looking forward to that. But before that, I need to, make everything, um, let's just say, more hospitable in a way, more inviting. Yeah. And yesterday, I was just realizing this. My little sister, it was like maybe 1 or 2 a.m. I'm not super sure about the time. And my youngest sister, she was just not screaming, but she was screaming in a way. And right there, I thought of two things. One, should I go and tell her that she's being, you know, basically scold her, but not scold her, like tell her what the fuck is wrong with you, do you realize it's 2 a.m. and mom and dad are sleeping, even though you're fucking screaming in your own room, but still you have to, you know realize that there are more people around you. And then I thought of this, like, she didn't learn that just like that, why is she doing that? And then I thought, maybe it's because somewhere along her own life, of course she's a young child, dude, she learned this, that it's okay to scream even though people are sleeping, or being inconsiderate of the environment around all the time. I was like, yeah, that's unfair of me to actually tell her that she's wrong when she doesn't get the concept, she doesn't know it. So the best option would be for me to go and explain it to her, that look, you know, all day mom and dad, they're awake and doing their things, work and stuff. And at night they don't want to sleep. And now you're fucking screaming. They'll wake up tired. They're tired. They're trying to rest. You should understand that if you're sleeping after school, let's say, and I come in there and start fucking headbanging and start making noise, it wouldn't be nice. And you'll wake up, you'll be annoyed. And it's like, yeah, man, I think we should fix that. Instead of just going and fucking following the same following the same pattern as what we were taught, or as what we were perhaps dealt with, is something we should perhaps break and go in the opposite direction of. And let's not be just too soft as fuck, let's put that into perspective as well. And I'm not saying to go fucking medieval, or gladiator mode on your freaking whoever. But it's like, there's a balance there. And you need to use the fucking intelligence that you were given to understand the balance, you know? You're not a fucking monkey for a reason, There are certain, now we know that, like, there are certain genes in us humans that are different from every single one of the ancient humans, the monkey humans that we supposedly call. The Darwin's theory for humans is bullshit. Um, I was pretty sure of it before as well, of course, because of my religion. But now that there are more studies and research papers and things coming out, it's very clear that there's a difference between us and them, let's say that. And we don't know if they were them or they were just monkeys. We don't know what they were, right? Like how they behaved or what they looked like, or so on and so forth. We just know that they have these structures and the ability of humanness, and they could draw and do all that stuff, and so on and so forth. I'm not calling them that, I'm not saying that they're not humans, but I'm saying they were something different. I would argue with that. We are something much different. Pretty controversial, but I would say we just appeared. We just appeared, and we started repopulating. Yeah, I don't believe that we had this transformation from fucking snail to all the way to monkeys and to chupacabras and now fucking humans. No, definitely we hold a higher standard of consciousness and the ability to transform things. I would say that. Yeah. I had a couple more things written down. So, yeah, maybe, yeah, finding that balance between teaching someone and how to teach it to them is something important. You need to look at it from their perspective too. If it was a older guy, I don't know how I would react, you know? Like, I would definitely tell him, like, he's being fucking insensitive as fuck, you know? He needs to wake the fuck up and own and understand that, hey, you can either move the fuck out or you could shut the fuck up. Because that's how you would deal with an older guy, but not like be aggressive and start a fight. This sounds aggressive, but this makes a statement as well. Like, yo, this is a boundary, you know. You need to let people understand the difference. If it was in the evening, or let's say in the afternoon, I wouldn't be this rude. I'll just tell him, you know, shut the fuck up or something. Just jokingly. But if it's midnight, you gotta make a statement there, you know. Especially, I'm just making up a scenario, but I hope you get what I'm trying to say here. And yeah, something I read up. I was reading up on supplements and I was seeing a lot of really good research on, as always, creatine, and there was good research on zinc and magnesium and all these different peptides. I didn't go much into peptides, but I was just reading up and I saw something like apparently some types of anemias, or in simple terms, I believe it's called a deficiency of iron. And most people, when they get to know that, they're like, oh shit, okay, so I need to supplement for iron. So they start taking in iron supplements, and perhaps doesn't always work out for them. I'm not sure about the majority cases, but from what I was reading from the small research, tiny research I did, it shows that perhaps you don't need iron supplements, you need copper supplements. Yeah, sounds weird, but maybe look it up. It might be something that might help you out. Anemia apparently being resolved using copper supplements. I did read up on it, but I don't want to read the whole thing because I'm not super sure about it as well. But do your research, man. A lot of things nowadays could be solved because of much more information with just a simple couple of things, and then it's just consistency and your ability to maintain that standard of procedure or supplementation or exercise or whatever it could be, and most of the time it fixes up your issues, your problems. Yeah. Then I was reading up on parasympathetic system, and there was another system I was reading. There's essentially two functions, two types of nervous systems. What was the other one? There was parasympathetic system, and then there was another one. Where is it? The sympathetic nervous system. Yeah. Essentially, their autonomic nervous system. This is like a branch of the systems that we have. In simple terms, one of the systems, the parasympathetic system, it allows you to actually rest and recover, or rest and digest, as it says here. And then the other system, the sympathetic nervous system, it's the fight and flight mode, where you are, you know, go, where you're nervous or alert, ready. And I was just reading up like what to do with the parasympathetic nervous system, like how do you activate that. And apparently There's a bunch of ways to do that. I'll tell you a funny story about it as well. One of the ways is definitely breathing, and I'm hearing a bunch of things about breathing and certain types of breathing through your nose, of course, the double sharp inhale. Um, I learned it from Andrew Huberman, and then a long exhale from your mouth. And all these breathings and things help you with the help you with activating your parasympathetic nervous system, slowing your heart rate down, calming you down, and so on and so forth. And then there was the humming. Apparently, humming can also activate the parasympathetic nervous system. So I was just thinking, and I was like, I didn't realize I was just sitting at home, and then I was just I was just sitting there doing and then my sister showed up. She was like, "What the fuck? This guy's just sitting and humming. This This Bigfoot just sitting and humming in the corner. What the fuck is wrong with him?" That was funny because I saw her. She's like, "What the fuck?" No, I hope she didn't think I was possessed or some shit. But yeah, I was hearing up on catching from yesterday the podcast that I was listening to about John Kiriakou and how he essentially got framed into this fucking mess because he was a whistleblower for the the torture program that was made by the CIA, US, just to be sure, just to be correct, sorry. um, and what happened there was pretty fucking crazy. Like the incident where they took, I think, 2,000 people and put them in crates and sent them in the desert. Apparently there weren't any fucking holes in those crates, and all all of those people suffocated besides the 14 survivors. One four out of the 2,000, I believe only 14 survived. And yeah, that seems fucking crazy, bro. And all these things were done just to keep peace. That's what bothers me. Like, no matter how you look at it, pursuing or looking for peace or trying to create peace, maybe that's different. If you are trying to create peace that causes this violence or this destruction or this annihilation, this distress, perhaps going against the cycle of nature, that to create unnecessary peace, perhaps, or maybe it's for a different, deeper, secret motive. We don't know. Maybe I just answered myself, but yeah, I wonder, like, if there are truly places out there where there is real peace. I'm not so sure about it though. You can't be all peaceful, right? Yes, like the innovation and the progress that we have made, it's always been because we have been pushing or competing, right? But then there's no peace in that, right? How could you be at peace if you're competing and if you're just all in to the sympathetic nervous system, just fucking pushing, go, 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 alert. What's China doing? What's Russia doing? What's fucking moon doing and shit like that? What's the sun shining on us now, huh? Oh, there's another meteoroid going. You know, That's just Jujutsu Kaisen modulo now. We have aliens with three eyes. Yeah, that's a pretty good series. That's a pretty good sequel manga to. I don't know if many people watch that. Jujutsu Kaisen. It's a pretty good anime. Yeah. Anyways, that guy, he went. He was essentially like fucking being destroyed by his own government just because he was speaking the truth. It's crazy. Like even the January 6th incident, they were discussing that. This was on the Joe Rogan podcast with John Kiriakou. And it shows that, there were CIA agents telling people to jump into the White House to, essentially commit crimes. And the motive supposedly behind that, allegedly behind that, was because these guys, these CIA guys, they wanted like a raise, or there was a deeper motive behind where they wanted to cause chaos. And that's the same reason you see for freaking Israel, just before the October 6th, there were freaking massive protests for Netanyahu, the current prime minister or the president of Israel, to get the fuck out. Nobody liked him, and that's when the October 6th happened. So it's pretty weird, It's pretty weird. Now that all of that is coming out, you know, I'm speaking all of this while drinking some blue water. Sounds like a crazy person, but you think about it, man. Shit. These guys, there's so many fucking false news from these guys, from Israeli people. There's so many fucking false narratives. I read up something that was very fucking weird, man. So I'm in the UAE, and there was a report that the the Dubai airport or the UAE, this was released by the Israeli government. I'm not sure. They were saying like let's not say Israeli government, but let's say that this news came out where the news was saying, oh, there's a risk of terrorism or terrorist attacks on the airports and stuff. And like, what the fuck? That's not gonna happen. Why all of a sudden there's this, out of all the news that we have going here with the real estate, with these new developments and peace talks and innovations and flying cars and new airports and all of that, we have suddenly this news, and that was pretty weird. So I looked up on Reddit. I searched through, and there were a couple of people talking about, so this news was most likely, allegedly released by the, what do you call it? The Israeli people. I don't know who, but it was because of this specific incident. According to the Reddit post, it said, so there was this consulate, I believe, a representative of the Israeli government. I think the ambassador, perhaps, Israeli ambassador for the consulate of Israel in the UAE. I hope you get what I'm trying to say here. And so this diplomat essentially was the ambassador of the freaking, you know what I'm trying to say. So what happened was, fucking I can't remember, what do you call it? ambassador. Let me look it up. Consulate, that's what you call it, right? Yeah, consulate. So it's basically the representation of the country in a foreign country. Keeping it short, coming back to the topic, what happened in that Reddit post was, so apparently this ambassador of the consulate was drinking out in public in one of the clubs or the bars, and then he got a bit too aggressive or rough, and apparently he was taken in by the police and maybe was kept in jail or was basically told to leave. I'm not sure what exactly the point was, and that's right after you see this news, which I think was in August, maybe in March, I'm not sure, August or March, that the Israeli officials are leaving the UAE because there's apparently this threat of terrorism, which is very fucking annoying to think about. These guys are essentially, so coming back to the point where October 6th happened. So Netanyahu's, of course, has a freaking warrant on him. He's gonna get wrecked, but he can't leave because he's busy with the country, and he's busy running all these wars and essentially terror attacks on other countries. And yeah, you think about it, it's all these fucking politics, man. I don't want to get into that politics, but it's pretty fucking apparent, man. People have come and said it. The fucking Israeli government has said it themselves. They want the fucking greater Israel. That's insane. Like, it's almost like one of those fucking people, you give them a place to live because you're like, oh shit, let's help out. You give them a place to live and they start taking over the whole fucking house. They're like fucking squatters. You give them a room, they start taking the whole fucking apartment. Then they're like, fuck your apartment, it's our fucking building. Then they take the whole fucking neighborhood and they're like, fuck it, we're gonna take the whole damn country. And then they're like, oh, let's take that country. And I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck? It's just taking advantage of the current system. And if you go deeper on it, it's like, it's the fucking rules. This is what they created to allow themselves to easily manipulate everyone else as well. It's like their rules, their fucking policies, their government, and then they have all this control over the US officials as well because, money. And it's fucking apparent, very fucking apparent. Yeah. So John Kiriakou, he's just speaking out for freaking. Imagine if he just spoke out about CIA. He was in the CIA and he spoke about just this freaking small, this not small, but this torture program, and it's not working. And he kept saying the truth, and he got fucking persecuted, essentially chased until he got bankrupted, jailed. He's out now looking for a pardon from the president. How much trouble is he going through just for that? Imagine how much trouble would someone go through if they tried to speak out about all these things. And the person who did it was never caught. Even in John Kiriakou's case, the person, I think his name was John something, um, those guys never got caught for what they did. They'll never get caught. There's no chance of them getting any sort of, justice or consequences for them. And then you have, the genocide itself, this war that was going on. And do you think he's gonna suffer? or he's gonna face the consequences. Not in this life, not anytime soon. I'm pretty sure of that. And the only threat that even John Kiriakou was worried about, that fucking Israel's not gonna keep the peace deal. And that's the same thing I was saying like day before yesterday or something. I feel like they're gonna do some fuckery, you know. They're gonna do some fuckery. They will just try to, you know, entice or like bait someone, you know. It's like, yeah. Let's hope, man. Let's hope for the best. Hope this doesn't fucking blow up. And yeah. I'll just end it with a really good post that I read on Instagram, and I saved it. I said I'll say it out loud when I'm finishing up the video. So the post is, by the way, if anyone's wondering what this phone is, this is a Qbot. It's a fucking beast of a phone. I really like it. Gets the job done, you know. So it says, this post, yeah, it says, the longer you grind, the more you realize people look exactly like the choices they make every day. You can't fake effort. That right there is like, it's basically speaks like fucking layers, bro. Layers. Layers, man. You just think about it. Just think about it. The longer you grind, or let's say the longer you stay consistent, the more you realize people look exactly like the choices they make every day. You can't fake effort. Yeah. And there's a balance to this as well. You really can't go top gear on everything. It will come back in the most unimaginable way possible, even when you have achieved a lot. It will come swinging back and hit you, and you won't fucking realize what's fucking hitting you. And it's just this, you know, this overheating of just going top gear all day, every day for so long. It's not sustainable. And you need those resets, both physically and mentally. And that doesn't mean you get to stay lazy all the time now. You can take a week off, you can take 2 weeks off, you can take 3 weeks off. And then you can hear the rev in the background. You can always hear it. It's like, it's ready to go. You know, you can hear it in the back. You know, that drive just fucking rising in you. It's like this endless furnace of, you know, pure energy, like the drive to just fucking go through walls and fourth walls and sixth walls, you know. Yeah, that's it for now. I Not the best of the episodes I've done, but you know, yeah, let's see. That's it from me, and I'll see you guys most likely tomorrow.